What's good, fam? What's good? TC here. I'm here on a Saturday night uh, shooting a little video. I got a little something I want to get out here before the weekend is out. You know, all day, all weekend, I've been looking at video uh, put up by various, YouTube commentators and YouTubers and stuff like that, talking about our issues as Black people. And a lot of times, it's hard for me to understand some of the subject matter. I mean, we're talking about, man-woman relationships, and we're talking about black wealth building and black empowerment. These are all good things for us to be talking about. But it don't seem like enough is being said um, about what's going on, on a worldwide basis and how it will affect us. Now, after having had three of my sons join the military, my daddy joined the military, two of my brothers in the military, I gotta say, we should be paying more attention to shit like that. Okay, now, it seems like we ain't. Now, after having, all of that family in the military, I gotta tell you, right now is not a good time for any of our young people to be joining. Okay? Now, I know, job opportunities are limited and the recruiters are putting pressure on people, and, you know, it's hard to find a job that'll pay for your college and give you good insurance and all of those things. But right now is just not a good time. I mean, take for example what I said a couple of months ago about North Korea and how the United States is not going to go to war with North Korea. Ain't gonna be no ain't gonna be no conflict over there. That's all just bullshit and reasons to get these big military budgets passed, and the military-industrial complex is having its way because they get to sell us more weapons and get to sell weapons all over the world. So we got to have these big enemies all over the place. Plus, we got to maintain the empire. So everybody knows about that. But check this out right here. That thing that just happened with Donald Trump and the so-called dictator in North Korea, that meeting they just had in Singapore, that shit was all smoke and mirrors and just photo ops and bullshit because they ain't say nothing that ain't been said before. North Korea's only condition for giving up its nuclear program was for us to stop running them big military drills where we practice wiping them off the face of the earth. Now they fire a missile here and do a missile test there and stuff like that. But they never had nothing that could threaten the United States or its allies. Never. But the media in our country is, they down with the program, so they're gonna push the narrative about how scary North Korea is and how they're a threat to us or our allies. They're not a threat. They're not a threat at all. What we got to do is we got to maintain our empire. So we got to keep 20 or 30,000 troops in South Korea. You talk about bringing them home and how having them there is costing us a lot of money and how having them there is provocative. And running those military drills is provocative and this and that. And he's going to stop it. I doubt, and I said that 3 times, I doubt very seriously if he stops those military drills because they just had them. So that gives them a long time before the next ones are scheduled, which is next year, and those troops this time next year will still be there. That gives them a lot of times to say North Korea ain't keeping up with their end of the bargain, so I'm not gonna pull the troops out of North Korea. Another thing is they want to push this war with Iran. You see, so maybe he wants to bring the troops home from North Korea so they have additional manpower and money to put into this Iran thing that they're trying to do. You see, the United States is a war country. It's just a whole fucking corporation empire built and supported by its military. So you ain't never gonna get the United States off a war footing. So all that shit Trump talking about, as far as stopping the war games with South Korea and bringing them troops home. It ain't. It's just bullshit. Don't you believe it? This time next year, those troops will still be there, and the war games will continue, and they'll have a nice fucking uh, preconceived reason to keep it going and to go back on the word. So don't believe that shit. Now, we as black people, how does this affect us directly? Because our sons, our daughters, our nieces and nephews are going to be ones that have to go fight these wars. Our sons and daughters are the ones that's going to have to go over and die in these wars. And they're going to have it all dressed up as patriotism and fighting for your freedom. And it might be some false flag terror event that scares the shit out of everybody and gets everybody, all fired up to go off to war. But trust and believe that war with Iran is coming, and ain't nobody ever intended to go to war with North Korea. I told a guy that at work, he told me I sounded idiotic. Well, I wonder how he sound now, because that's just exactly what's happening. You don't see him going over to Iran talking to them. No, they want that oil. Because what did Donald Trump say even before he became president? If you leave Iraq, what you do, you take the oil. And those were his exact words. Take the oil. I don't know how the fuck they was going to take it. They was just going to have to position a bunch of troops over there like they have. See, because the media don't talk about it, but we still in a full-blown war in Iraq. Because we want to control the oil fields, and we're in a full-fledged war in Afghanistan still, because of the minerals and shit that are there. Because that's the only reason we really fight these wars. It ain't about no terrorism. It ain't about no freedom. It ain't about nothing except controlling other folks' minerals. That's why we doing covert wars with Venezuela. You think Venezuela is nearly as fucked up as they're trying to make it? No. No, it's about the fact that Venezuela sits on a huge oil reserve, and we trying to get control of that. I mean, I just read a piece a couple of days ago about how one of Trump's advisors was even suggested putting troops down there. So don't get it twisted, man. Don't get it twisted. The status quo will be maintained. All you got to do is try your best to keep your kids out that war situation. Like they were saying earlier, help them start a business, help them find some other way that they can maintain and support their life and build their wealth without joining the military, without getting sucked into this mindset where the only thing that's available to you is a job, working where your life is in danger and putting your life on the line for a country that don't really give a fuck about you, which is this country right here. They really don't give a shit about you, especially if you black. They don't give a fuck about you. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, turn your attention to that, along with all the other shit we gotta pay attention to. Killer cops, systemic racism, institutionalized racism, bigotry, prejudice, and all the rest. White girl Becky calling the cops every time you step out the front door. All of these other things, we also have to pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Because it's our future generations we're protecting. You know what I mean? And one more thing before I go. If you are a baby boomer or a retiree, and you got anything left at all that you can leave to your children and grandchildren, please leave it to them. Write your will. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later, but I think that my man Tone Talks, he makes some really good points. That all of the wealth in the black community is tied up in retirees and baby boomers, because all of these so-called jobs that Donald Trump said he put, black people in, they are minimum wage and low-paying jobs. None of them pay shit, and there's thousands of them. it's Amazon and Walmart and UPS and shit like that. You know what I mean? Hard work with very little pay and very little benefits. You know what I mean? So if you got anything that you can leave, you know, or anything that you can leave to your descendants, leave it to them. Get you a will, write it out, so that we can start building some wealth that way with what little we have, because we do have to start somewhere. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night on this video. But check this out right behind me is I got the sister with the afro. She all framed and ready. She been sold. I made $300 on this piece right here, and I really like it. She hung in a gallery for what, about 3 months. Yeah, about 3 months I had her in the gallery, and she is one of my favorite charcoal pieces. You can check pieces like that out at tcedwards.com, and or just shoot me an email at ctaylor077 at aol.com, or tcedwards12 at gmail.com. I'm gonna go ahead and put those links up so that people can find me. Or just leave me something in the comment section and I'll get back at you. All right. Don't forget to like my video, leave a comment, and subscribe and hit that little bell so you get the notifications. All right. TC, and I'm out.